welcome to a deep dive
Oh, yeah.
into a fascinating approach to success.
Mm-hmm.
One built on intense discipline and focus.
Yeah.
We're going to explore the ideas of an entrepreneur
Okay.
who believes that unwavering self-control is the key to extraordinary results.
Interesting.
You might even say monk-like discipline.
Yeah, it's fascinating because it really challenges a lot of the conventional wisdom.
Right.
We hear about success. You
Yeah.
know, it's not about
Wow.
finding a passion that makes work feel effortless.
Yeah.
This entrepreneur argues that true success stems from the willingness to endure, to push through discomfort and delay gratification
Right.
in pursuit of something bigger.
So right off the bat, he's drawing a clear line between motivation and discipline.
Exactly.
Our source material is an audio excerpt from one of his training modules,
Okay.
and he really hammers this point home.
Yeah.
He says that motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes.
Yeah.
You can't build your success on something so unreliable.
It's like building a house on sand. Discipline, on the other hand, is that bedrock foundation.
Yeah.
It's the unwavering commitment
Mm-hmm.
that allows you to keep going when motivation inevitably fades.
And this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
He argues that the world today is practically designed to sabotage our discipline. He
Interesting.
points to things like social media, sugary treats, fast food,
Yeah.
anything that gives us that quick hit of dopamine. He calls them instant gratification temptations.
Okay.
And he says we're constantly bombarded by them.
Right, like we're swimming in it.
Yeah,
So how do you escape?
exactly. So how do we actually DA that?
Yeah.
He outlines 11 specific practices for developing ironclad discipline.
Okay.
Some of them are what you might expect, resisting those instant gratification impulses,
Mm-hmm.
cleaning up your diet, getting organized.
Right. The basics.
But then there are a few that are a little more, shall we say, unexpected.
Yeah, like what?
Like his idea of learning to love pain.
Love pain.
He actually encourages seeking out discomfort, whether it's pushing yourself physically, tackling challenging tasks,
Yeah.
or confronting difficult emotions.
Okay.
He says, and I quote,
Okay.
"You got to learn to love that stuff and eat it."
Wow.
It's a pretty strong image.
That's intense.
But I think what he's getting at is that mental toughness isn't built in your comfort zone.
Right.
It's about expanding your capacity for discomfort, for pushing past those self-imposed limits.
It's like building a muscle.
Yeah,
The more you expose yourself to challenges, the stronger you become.
exactly.
And he takes it a step further, suggesting that we should even consider weaning ourselves off flavor
Whoa, hold on.
to sharpen our senses and mental clarity.
Weaning ourselves off flavor. What does that even mean?
Well, our modern palates have become so accustomed to intense flavors
Okay.
that our senses are dulled.
Okay.
By simplifying our diet, he argues, we can actually heighten our awareness and focus.
Okay, now that's a challenge I'm not sure I'm ready for. But it does make you think about how constantly bombarding ourselves with stimuli might be affecting our ability to focus on what truly matters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It raises a crucial question about how our environment shapes our behavior and our ability to achieve our goals.
Okay.
And that leads us to another key principle this entrepreneur emphasizes.
Which is
Sacrifice.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
And he's not talking about little sacrifices here and there. This entrepreneur has a pretty radical view on what it takes to achieve significant success.
He states it outright.
Okay.
Success equals sacrifice.
Okay.
And if you're not willing to sacrifice for what you want will become the sacrifice.
Wow. So he's saying that if we're not willing to make those tough choices,
Yeah.
our goals will eventually fall by the wayside.
Exactly. He doesn't sugarcoat it.
Right.
And to really drive this point home, he introduces this exercise called the 100 units of time.
100 units of time.
It involves meticulously tracking every 30-minute block of your day for a week. You can see where all your time is actually going.
I can see how that would be eye-opening.
Yeah.
But then what?
Then comes the challenging part.
Oh,
He suggests eliminating everything that isn't directly contributing to your primary goal.
whoa.
And I mean everything.
Everything.
Even things you enjoy,
Okay.
things you might feel are important,
Mhm.
even comfortable routines.
So no more binge watching your favorite shows
Yeah,
or scrolling through social media.
pretty much.
This sounds pretty intense.
He's quite firm on that.
Yeah.
He even acknowledges that this level of commitment might make you seem a little different.
Different how?
You might not be the most popular person at parties,
Right.
but his perspective is that achieving extraordinary results requires you to break free from ordinary patterns of behavior.
He walks the walk too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't he share his own personal experience with this level of
Oh,
sacrifice?
absolutely. He talks about giving up his social life hobbies, even living in his home country, to fully immerse himself in building his business.
Wow.
He reinvests every dollar he makes back into it. That's a powerful testament to his commitment.
So what does this mean for our listener?
Yeah,
What are you willing to sacrifice to reach your goals?
it's a good question.
And perhaps even more importantly,
Yeah.
how do you know what to sacrifice?
That's where his concept of the grid comes in.
Agreed.
It's a way to visualize your business
Okay.
or even your life as an electrical grid with interconnected parts.
So for a business, you might have parts representing your product development, marketing, sales, customer service,
Yeah, all the key pieces.
all the key pieces.
And just like an electrical grid, your grid needs energy to function.
Okay.
That energy comes from your time, money, effort, and focus.
Mm-hmm.
The key to success, he argues, is learning to channel that energy strategically to the most critical parts of your grid.
So it's about constantly evaluating where your energy is going
Exactly.
and making sure it's flowing to the areas that will have the greatest impact.
Precisely. He emphasizes the importance of constant scanning, prioritizing,
Yeah.
and making those tough decisions about where to allocate your resources.
Okay.
He even says that sometimes you have to let certain areas of the grid run low on energy to power up the areas that will have the most significant impact.
And he brings up social media again here, right? Saying
Yeah.
it can be a huge energy drain with very little return unless it's absolutely essential to your goals.
He intentionally minimizes the time and effort he spends on social media,
Okay.
focusing instead on activities that have a higher leverage effect on his success.
So it all ties back to his equation.
Yeah.
Energy X focus results.
Right.
He's saying that focus acts as a multiplier for your energy. The more focused you are, the greater the impact your efforts will have.
It's a powerful concept. Imagine two people with the same amount of energy.
Yeah.
One is scattered trying to do a million things at once.
Mm-hmm.
The other is laser focused on a single high impact task. Who do you think will achieve better results?
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But the question is, how do we cultivate that kind of laser focus in a world that's constantly vying for our attention?
Well, this entrepreneur has some pretty specific advice on that, and it all comes down to ruthlessly eliminating distractions.
So let's dive into those tools because while not everyone needs a live-in coach,
Right.
we could all benefit from a little more structure and support in our lives.
Absolutely. And one of the most powerful tools he offers is the concept of understanding your baseline self.
Baseline self.
This means taking an honest look at your current habits,
Okay.
tendencies, strengths, and weaknesses.
Mm.
He stresses the importance of comparing your baseline self to the future self you need to become
Okay.
to achieve your vision.
It's like holding up a mirror to yourself, seeing where you are now,
Yeah.
and then envisioning the person you need to become to reach your goals.
Right.
That gap between the two becomes your roadmap for personal growth.
Exactly. And he doesn't just leave you with a vague idea. He provides a whole toolkit of practical systems to support that journey.
Like what?
One of the tools he mentions is the warm-up calendar,
Warm-up calendar.
which is essentially a structured system for planning your years,
Okay.
months, weeks, and even your hours.
I love the idea of a warm-up calendar.
Yeah.
It implies that we're intentionally preparing ourselves for success, just like an athlete warms up before competition.
That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
And then there's the RICE prioritization tool,
Okay.
a method for evaluating and choosing the most high-impact projects to focus on.
So he's all about systems, isn't he?
He is.
Measuring tracking, optimizing every aspect of his life and work.
Yeah.
He even shared specific metrics he uses to track his business output.
Right.
Data is definitely king in his world.
It's a data-driven approach, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's not just about cold, hard numbers.
Okay.
He also emphasizes the importance of cultivating practices like gratitude and mindfulness.
Really?
He even recommends meditating for 20 minutes every day.
That's what I find so fascinating about his approach.
Yeah.
He blends this intense discipline and focus with a deep understanding of the importance of mental and emotional well-being.
Right.
He gets that you can't achieve sustainable success if you're running yourself into the ground.
It's a holistic approach.
Yeah.
Recognizing that your physical, mental, and emotional health are all interconnected and essential for fueling your success.
So after this deep dive into the world of monk-like discipline, what's one thing you'd encourage our listener to consider applying in their own life?
I'd suggest starting small.
Okay.
I think about one area where you could benefit from a little more discipline.
Hmm.
It could be your diet, exercise, routine, work habits,
Yeah.
or even how you manage your time on social media.
Right.
The key is to choose something specific and manageable,
Okay.
and then commit to building that discipline muscle one day at a time.
And remember, discipline isn't about punishing yourself.
No.
It's about empowering yourself to achieve your goals and live a more fulfilling life. It's about becoming the architect of your own destiny. Who knows what you might accomplish when you tap into that power?